When one of the world's most famous supermodels quietly ties the knot, people naturally start asking questions. No Instagram announcement, no magazine spread, no paparazzi-filled ceremony, just silence. And then, days later, the news slips out through a marriage license. For someone who's spent decades in the spotlight, Gisele Bündchen's wedding to Joaquim Valente was surprisingly under the radar. But here's the thing. This wedding has people rethinking everything they thought they knew about her past. Because sometimes what you don't say speaks louder than what you do. According to multiple reports from Page 6, TMZ, and People magazine, Gisele Bündchen and Joaquim Valente got married on December 3, 2025 in Surfside, Florida. TMZ confirmed they obtained the marriage license, which shows it was issued on December 1st. The ceremony took place at their home. It was small, intimate, just close family and friends, according to sources who spoke to Page 6. And here's what's interesting. Gisele didn't post about it. There were no wedding photos on social media, no exclusive interview with a magazine, no red carpet reveal. The news surfaced because TMZ obtained the marriage license. That's how the world found out. A source familiar with Joaquim told Page 6 he is thrilled they finally tied the knot after having a kid together. The couple welcomed a baby boy together in February 2025, according to reports confirmed by People magazine. This is surprisingly quiet for someone this famous. We're talking about a woman who was once the highest paid supermodel in the world. A woman who's been on countless magazine covers. A woman whose previous marriage to NFL legend Tom Brady was front-page news for over a decade. And yet, this wedding, barely a whisper until the paperwork went public. Let's be real. When you're Gisele Bündchen, people expect announcements. They expect glamour. They expect at least a carefully curated Instagram post with a caption about love and gratitude. That's how celebrity weddings work in 2025. But Gisele chose a different path. And that choice itself became the story. Fans were genuinely surprised. Social media lit up with questions. Wait, she's married? When did this happen? Why didn't she say anything? The secrecy itself became gossip, because in a world where celebrities share everything, choosing to share nothing feels intentional. It feels like a statement, and people wanted to know what that statement meant. Some saw it as romantic, a private moment kept sacred. Others saw it as strategic, a way to control the narrative by giving no narrative at all. And a few wondered if there was more to the story, because when someone who's been so public suddenly goes silent, curiosity fills the gap. To understand why this wedding feels significant, you have to look at the timeline. Gisele and Tom Brady filed for divorce in October 2022 after 13 years of marriage. According to Page 6, they finalized their divorce days later. It was amicable, at least publicly. They released statements about co-parenting their two kids, Benjamin and Vivian. They emphasized respect and gratitude. It was all very civilized. Then, in November 2022, just weeks after the divorce was finalized, Gisele was spotted in Costa Rica with her two kids and their jiu-jitsu instructor, Joaquim Valente. People magazine reported on the trip. The photos showed them together, but at the time, it was presented as a family vacation with their trainer. Nothing romantic, just a professional relationship. But here's where it gets interesting. Page 6 exclusively reported in February 2024 that Gisele and Joaquim had been dating since June 2023. A source told them the relationship had evolved from friendship into something more. Gisele herself addressed the timeline in a New York Times interview in 2024. She was asked about speculation that she had cheated on Tom. Her response? That is a lie. She was firm, clear, definitive. According to People magazine, a source close to Gisele said in 2024, Joaquim was a huge comfort for her while she went through her divorce. They started out as great friends first. The source emphasized that their friendship turned romantic over time. She's very private about this and wanted to keep it quiet while they got to know each other. This isn't about scandal. It's about timing, about how relationships evolve, about how the public timeline doesn't always match the private one, and about how Gisele has been very careful to control her own narrative. Of course, the internet had theories. Some people looked at the Costa Rica photos from November 2022 and wondered if there was more to the story. Others pointed to the fact that Gisele had been working with Joaquim since 2021, long before her divorce. The timeline became a puzzle people wanted to solve. But here's the thing about celebrity timelines. They're almost always more complicated than they appear. People love connecting dots, even when dots aren't there. A photo from a vacation becomes evidence of a secret romance. A professional relationship becomes suspicious because of what happens later. Hindsight makes everything look intentional. The reality, according to multiple sources who spoke to People magazine, is that Gisele and Joaquim's relationship developed gradually. They were friends. Then they were more than friends. Then they welcomed a child together. Then they got married. It's a progression that makes sense when you look at it without trying to find hidden meanings. But the internet doesn't always work that way. People want drama. They want secrets. They want the story behind the story. And when someone like Gisele keeps things private, it creates space for speculation. That's just how celebrity culture works in 2025. So what does this quiet wedding actually tell us? It reveals a shift, a deliberate choice to live differently than she did before. Gisele was married to Tom Brady for 13 years. That marriage was public. In ways this one isn't. There were Super Bowl appearances, red carpet events, magazine covers. Their family life was documented, analyzed, discussed. It came with the territory of being married to one of the most famous athletes in the world. But this time, Gisele chose differently. According to E! News, Gisele told Vogue France in May 2025, "I like staying home. I hate talking about my private life." She's described herself as a very private person. And this wedding reflects that. No public spectacle, no media circus, just a quiet ceremony at home with the people who matter most. According to People magazine, a source close to the couple said they're happy for this new chapter in their life, and they're looking forward to creating a peaceful and loving environment for the whole family. That's the story. Not scandal, not secrets, just a woman choosing to build a life on her own terms. Gisele Bündchen's wedding to Joaquim Valente wasn't mysterious because of what it revealed. It was mysterious because of what it didn't. No announcement, no photos, no public celebration. Just a marriage license that surfaced days later and confirmed what had quietly happened. For someone who spent years in the spotlight, this choice feels significant. The internet will always speculate. People will always try to connect dots and find hidden meanings. That's just part of being famous. But Gisele's wedding shows something important. You can be one of the most famous people in the world and still choose to keep some things private. You can have a past that was public and a present that isn't. And you can build a new chapter without broadcasting every detail. Sometimes the biggest celebrity stories aren't about what's revealed. They're about what's kept private. And in Gisele's case, that privacy isn't mysterious. It's intentional, it's protective, and it's a choice she's earned the right to make. Because at the end of the day, she's not just a supermodel or a celebrity. She's a person building a life. And some moments are meant to be lived, not shared.